And you, good day.
I was wondering how I would become a Jedi Knight.
I suppose by going out for a part in the movie. What is a Jedi Knight to you? What's your definition of that term?
A selfless individual who can feel the life force of other people and beings around it, I guess, of anything, and can
When you
harness.
say selfless, what do you mean?
They do good for others. They do things for the benefit of others without doing it for themselves.
But you understand that when you do things for the benefit of others, that is actually the best way to benefit yourself.
Yes, I understand.
So you are not selfless.
So I'm very selfish then.
And you're not selfish. You can, however, simply become self-contained. So the idea is that you understand you are connected to everything, and when you understand and behave that way, you will know you are included because you are a part of everything and cannot be left out. Therefore, you don't have to focus on yourself. So if that's what you mean by selfless, then fine. But it doesn't mean you're actually selfless. It simply means you're not self-focused.
Gotcha.
You're focused on the big picture of which you are a part. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
All right. Then is that being closer to being a Jedi Knight?
Yeah, but there's other parts too.
Oh, all right. And what are they?
I guess being able to...
I'm not going to tell you how to build a lightsaber.
I don't need to learn how to do that. That's irrelevant for me.
All right. Just checking.
How would I do the supernatural things that they do?
Supernatural?
Well, the things that society would deem supernatural that I...
Oh, you mean the things that they do that come naturally to them when they operate on a higher frequency?
Sure.
Well, operate on a higher frequency.
And how do I do that?
I already told you.
Follow my highest passion.
Yes.
Well, there we go. Cool.
Behave in the manner that you wish your reality to reflect.
Cool.
Whatever temperature you want.
Another question I have is, in my comparative religion class in school, the Hare Krishnas came into our class, and they worship Krishna as, God.
Yes.
Was that person like the physical manifestation of all that is? Or was it just...
Every person is a physical manifestation of all that is. Nevertheless, some will, in a sense, as we were just speaking of, exhibit more of those qualities more openly. Thus, then, they often become, in a sense, well, focal points for that idea. However, because of the kind of belief systems that many humans have been taught on your planet, they often then, instead of actually getting the point,
they worship the person.
They worship the person. Because the point of any of those advanced teachers is that you are Krishnas too. You are Buddhas too. You are Christs too. And they all say as much, but most people ignore that part of the message. And just worship and proselytize instead of actually behaving as if. You follow?
Yeah.
Does that help?
That does help. Another question I have is...
You follow?
Yeah.
Does that help?
That does help. Another question I have is... a monk came to our class too, a Buddhist monk, and he said Nirvana was different than enlightenment, and that the Buddha achieved Nirvana, which is he ended all suffering forever. His being. Is that...
Again, the idea is that you have been given many examples of how to create certain states of being for yourself in which you do not have to experience the idea of challenge as suffering. Whether you allow yourself to begin to behave that way and take on that state of being is completely up to you. But you have been demonstrated this many, many times by many teachers. So in that sense, that's the way to understand the statement. They've done this for you, so you don't have to do it again. But you can choose to do it again. You can choose to suffer, but because they've already demonstrated how you don't have to, you don't have to.
Cool. Yeah, I gotcha.
Oh, all right. You like that temperature, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
All right. Thank you.
Wait, one last one. One more question. Okay. So, you've talked before that we're moving through time and space.
Well, in a sense, that's your experience.
And however fast you can, let's say you're moving 50% through, space, 50% the speed of light.
Yes.
That means your time is 50%
And
slower,
space
right?
is 50%.
But
Yeah.
the speed of light is a speed limit.
It's a speed limit of your particular dimensional reality.
But
it's the border between your dimension and another one.
But I can imagine a speed higher than that.
And there is.
Oh, okay, that makes sense then.
It's just that within your dimension, that's the upper limit of your physical reality. It doesn't mean there aren't faster speeds in other realities, in other dimensions.
Could I change it in my reality? Or is that...
You have to shift to that other dimensional reality in order to experience that, because it doesn't, in a sense, have relevance in your physical reality.
Okay.
Instantaneous teleportation has been experienced by many individuals, even on your planet. That's shifting to another dimension where this so-called concept of speed has no meaning. You simply are here, then you're there. No traveling in between.
That's awesome.
So it can be called infinite speed. Make sense?
It does. Thank you.
Another question from a News for the Soul listener.
Oh, all right.
You said we make good TV.
Yes.
How do you see us?
Like this. Sometimes like this. Sometimes like this. Can you be more specific about what you mean by that question?
Yeah, I guess the question is, how do beings that are outside our planet see us? And
well, we have
see
different
our
ways
behaviors?
depending upon the being. Right now, we are simply perceiving your energy patterns. We are seeing you in a holographic kind of format that allows us to connect into what we need to connect into of your collective consciousness in order to download information to you that you have requested. So we're not so much seeing you just physically, per se. We're not really seeing you, in a sense, physically at all. We are seeing you vibrationally as a series of patterns that are interpreted in our consciousness in a variety of holographic conceptual ways, depending upon what is being communicated.
Are there beings that have, like on their spaceships, screens where they can see what's going on the planet?
Yes.
So how are they doing that?
Well, again, there are a variety of technologies depending upon the civilization. One civilization that does that has the ability to understand, well, let me back up. We have to some degree explained to you how our spacecraft work, in the sense that it is all about vibrational resonance location. The idea that every location has a vibrational signature, and that an object doesn't exist in a location. An object, in a sense, contains a vibrational locational signature that makes it seem to occupy space in a particular place and time. But the location is one of the variables of the object's equation, energy equation. As we change the variable in our spaceships, the spaceship changes location, because that is simply the idea of the spaceship existing at the new vibrational locational signature point. Similarly, the technology is that when you know that location is a particular frequency, then you can create a system where you dial up a particular locational resonance, and you can have a mechanism that simply translates that particular reference point visually, if you wish, even in your mind or on a screen. Does that make sense to you? Do you understand what we are describing as a technology?
Yes, it sounds very interesting. I mean, are people being watched while they're walking around in the privacy of their homes?
Sometimes.
That's pretty interesting.
But never without permission. You understand?
Yes, but how does somebody give permission?
Sometimes they give permission on another level.
Oh, like a dream state.
The physical mind may not be aware of the permission that has been given, but the permission has been given. And again, it will always be done, at least on our behalf, relatively unobtrusively. Privacy will be maintained where it is truly desired.
So what would be the purpose of watching someone?
Learning.
Like how humans do things?
Yes. And there are other reasons. Observing what humans are, in a sense, absorbing of the information that they have learned, how they are applying it. Because sometimes we have recognized that humans will apply information differently in private than they do in public. So we learn a lot about you in private that we don't get a chance to learn by watching you in public. And that's why we say you make good TV. Because there are often great dichotomies between your private persona and your public one. And we learn a lot about who you really are and what your personality really is all about by observing the private one in certain contexts.
Yeah, I can see that. That's really true. So
Yes.
That's cool that you guys can do that.
Again, not without permission and not without there being a reason, in a sense, that will ultimately serve you in a positive way.
Right. That's
We have
wonderful.
no purpose or reason to simply be invasive.
Yeah.
It is only being done because there is a mutual agreement that what we are doing will benefit you in some way, shape, or form.
That's wonderful, Bashar. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Bashar.
And a you good day.
How do I experience past and future and now?
Have you ever had the experience called deja vu?
Theoretically, but not consciously that I can recall.
You have
Maybe-
never
maybe I
experienced
did, maybe
that
I didn't.
sensation.
I
that
know
what
what
you're
you're
saying?
talking about, but I can't really recall the real experience.
Oh, all right. But that is one representation of experiencing what you call past and future in the present. That's what that experience actually is. Because when you have deja vu, you know what is about to happen because you feel it has happened before. You are experiencing the idea of the timelessness all at once, that everything exists at once. So really, the more you live in the moment, the more you live in the present, the more you don't focus on the idea in a negative way of future and past, the more you will experience the timelessness of actual existence. The more malleable, plastic, and slippery space and time will become. The more synchronistic experiences you will have. Synchronicity is another symptomology of collapsing the idea of space-time into the now. Because everything is one. Everything is connected to everything else. Synchronicity is space-time's way of showing you that everything else. Synchronicity is space-time's way of showing you that everything is connected as best as it possibly can. Even though it may still be presenting it to you in a so-called linear fashion, one synchronicity after another, that is at least a more collapsed version of experiencing space-time, the experience of synchronicity itself, than a typical stretched out linear format. Does that make sense?
But is this includes, for example, past lives, past experience?
Again, remember, there is no real past. There is no real future. Everything exists now. The analogy we often use is your own television set. If you are sitting down watching a TV program, you know that at the same moment there are still hundreds of other programs that exist at the same time. They're not really in the past. They're not really in the future. You may not be perceiving them because you are tuned to one particular channel. But if you change the channel, you'll see that another program exists at the same time as the program you were just watching. Reality is like that. All the lives, all the experiences are going on right now. The more you understand and wrap your mind around that concept, the more you will actually start to experience reality that way. Make sense?
Yes.
So, more analogies, the more symbols, the more analogies you can create to explain the idea of the simultaneity of existence to yourself, the more you can understand that construct of nowness holographically, the more you will actually start to experience your reality that way.
Makes sense. Thank you. And,
Thank you. That's why we also use the analogy of saying there really is only one moment in creation, just one moment. What appears to you to be different moments is actually the same moment, but from a different point of view. It's all the same moment. There is also only one thing in creation. All of it. Just one thing. Experiencing itself as a multitude of things. But it's just one thing. Even physically, there is only one thing. We have explained this before by the concept we refer to in our reality as the prime radiant. Imagine. We know your scientists tend to talk in particles, subatomic particles. Now, we know that they know that it's not really a solid particle, but for the purpose of illustration, it will do. Imagine this. Imagine there is only one particle in all of existence, and there's nothing else. Just one particle. Because there is nothing else to relate to, the particle has no mass and can move at infinite speed. It has no limitations, it has no barriers, there are no laws to govern it, because it's the only thing there is. So it can do anything it wants. So if it can travel, this one particle can travel at infinite speed, that's another way of saying that that particle can actually be everywhere at the same time. You understand?
Yes.
So if a particle can be everywhere at the same time, it can appear to be multiple particles, but it's actually the same one particle. And everything that is made up of particles is actually made up of the same one particle, moving at infinite speed. So you actually are the other person's body. You actually are the chair. You actually are the light bulb. Because all those things, you are the star. You are the other planet. Because all those things are all made up out of the same one particle that everything is made up out of. So everything is here. Everything is now. Everything is one. Make sense?
Yes.
Does that help?
Yes, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you. The more you ponder that, the more you wrap your mind around that, the more you will start to experience that in your reality. Yes, continue.
And it's pretty much like a follow-up in terms
Yes.
of everything is one, all is one, we're part of one.
Yes.
But we have this illusion of separation.
Yes.
Can you help me a little bit in terms of how I can modify it or remove it if it's appropriate, or how
Well, you don't really want to completely remove it per se.
but have ability to
or you won't
go
really
beyond
have an experience as an individual. Remember, all that is experiences itself in all the ways that it can. You, us, all beings and all things in creation are all the ways all that is has of experiencing itself. Even though you can have the experience of more oneness, you exist as an idea unto itself. So you, as that idea, no matter how much oneness you create yourself to experience, you will always experience yourself as you. Even when you become one with the one, you will experience yourself as the one. So you will still be you. Even when you are no longer a part of the one in experience, you will still experience yourself as the one. Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely.
Does that help?
But I was asking more in terms of practical application, in terms of, for example, feeling the trees and walls and go beyond that.
Yes.
How I can develop this?
Again, wrap your mind around the idea that you are one. Invent in your imagination ways in which to represent that to yourself more realistically. And use that imagination. That's what your imagination is for. Your imagination is keyed to you, to your frequency. Whatever methodology you come up with that allows you to feel more at one, use that. Use what your imagination comes up with. Your imagination is the conduit between your higher mind and your physical mind. Your imagination is the conduit of communication between the two. So let us say, for example, if you imagine, for you, if it feels right for you, that you can walk up to a wall, and if by putting your hands on it, that allows you to feel more at one with the wall, or if putting your tongue on it allows you to feel more at one with the wall, or simply imagining yourself passing through the wall and your molecules intermingling makes you feel more at one with the wall, or whatever idea your imagination comes up with that actually creates for you more of the sensation, more of the idea of being one with the wall, then that's the thing to imagine at that moment, whether you actually physically do it or not. Because the idea is that some of these things are not always relevant to experience literally physically. Some of them are just things that lure you in a certain direction to get you to move in that direction, perhaps for other reasons. Sometimes the things that excite you just to get you to move in a certain direction, not because the thing itself must come to fruition in a physical way. Because your higher mind knows how stubborn the physical mind can be. So it will sometimes allow certain things to come to fruition when they are appropriate to do so. Other times, the thing that excites you will simply be a carrot to get you to move in that direction because that was the most important thing for you to do. So if you're excited about exploring this concept of oneness, act on that and use your imagination to explore it in whatever way, shape, or form your imagination feels most excited about doing so. And for that moment, that will be the right way for you. And it will enhance the synchronicity in your reality. For that moment, that will be the right way for you. And it will enhance the synchronicity in your reality to give you more experiences of that oneness in whatever way works best for you. Does that make sense?
Definitely. Thank you
so
very much.
So you really need to let your imagination fly. You really need to act out on your imagination too in many ways. Many times we have suggested to many of you, when you talk about doing the thing that excites you, to mock it up, to create a facsimile of the reality you say you wish to live in. Literally build it up around you to the best of your ability. Have representations of it everywhere that you can. Paste it up on your wall. But very few of you actually take the step of making that physical realization, that physical symbology. You keep it very mental. Acting it out acts as the completion circuit. It grounds the idea and lets your physical mind know that it actually has something physical to respond to as a vibration that is more representative of that reality you say you prefer. It's training your physical body to respond to that physical reality by mocking it up and existing in that simulated environment. It doesn't matter that it's a simulation if it makes you feel like it's real. Make sense?
Yes.
Does that help you?
Yes.
Thank you.
And last question.
Oh.
I want to understand how the new point of consciousness got born. Or new consciousness got born. Probably it's more like a point.
Essentially this way. The so-called new point of consciousness is simply the awakening to the level of consciousness that you actually are naturally. The idea is that when you all chose to experience the idea of physical reality on Earth, you understood to some degree that you were going to go through a cycle of forgetfulness and limitation experience. But you are now at the end of that cycle. So you are remembering who you are. You're waking up and remembering who you are as spirits. That's what caused the idea of the spiritual awakening. You have almost completely finished with your cycle of forgetfulness. So it's just the end of a natural cycle and the beginning of a new one of remembering more of who you are and the expansion that simply naturally comes with remembering your true identity. Make sense?
Yes.
Does that help you?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.